Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. Here we are once again. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. It's 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning. They just made it. It's midnight in London town and Friday morning in Tokyo, Japan at 9 a.m. Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of Talk Back Live. We're coming to you live directly from New York City, and that's where we originate, and we are all over the world. We thank you so much for being along with us. And we're going to be here for the next hour. It's just you and I and everything that's going on that comes along with the show. We're going to be here for a whole hour. And we want you to stay with us. Now, a lot of you may be new to the show, and we welcome you aboard because the more the merrier. So if you are new to the show, let me tell you how the show operates. Of course, you're going to participate if you so desire. Now, what I do as the host, I bring out the conversation as I'm doing now. I keep things rolling and throughout conversation. But you know something, in between all of that, you can join in on conversation too, either the conversation that I put out there, or you can let us know what you want to talk about. I'll see you right there on the big screen and I will acknowledge you. Maybe you have some questions about the show or whatever it is. And also you can interact with other people who come in. And we're all over the world. We're all over the world because we're global and we come from 3 different areas. We come from Facebook. We're live on Facebook. We're on YouTube and we're live on Instagram as well. So pick your poison. Wherever you are, you can check us out and we're right there for you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to just interact all together. So just tell your friends about it. Now, if you're watching us live on Facebook, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take the time right now to tag the show to all of your friends. If not all, maybe some, select few or one, whatever, the more the merrier. They'll see that information once you tag them, and they'll come right here. They'll see it comes from you, and they'll click on that notification, and it'll bring them directly to us right here. And they'll see you, they'll see me, they'll see all of us together, and they can join in on conversation too. And if they like what they hear or see, maybe they can become full-fledged members just as you are. If you're watching us on YouTube, I always encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's easy. There's a button down there that says subscribe, right? And all you have to do is take your mouse and click on it. And it's right there. And the good part about the whole thing is no charge for subscribing. It's free. A lot of people look at the word subscribe. Oh, I'm going to subscribe to this. That's my monthly subscription. What do I owe? You owe nothing. You're automatically in, full-fledged member. And once you subscribe to us, that gives us and gives you a chance to know whenever we come on live, or if we so much as post a photo or a video, it gives you notification, providing you online to see it. And all you have to do is click onto that notification and brings you right to the channel. Simple as that, just as easy. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, we thank you so much for being with us as well. All you have to do is to continue to follow us and tell your family and friends about us, all right? Remember that all of the views and the opinions on this show, Talk Back Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. And as we move along in the show, we're going to do all of our regular things as we interact with you as well. Now, what the regular things are, first off, we have sports coming up. In just a few minutes from now, Brian Camp will be linking up with him. We're going to be linking up with Brian coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. You see, technology is good. It's always been good because we can link from one place to the other, from one country to the other, from one city to the other. So we're going to link up from New York to Charlotte, North Carolina. Brian Camp will be here. And of course, he's going to bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports. That's on Sports Update. And I'm pretty sure he has a lot of information on sports and a lot of things that's going to be happening in sports, in the sports world, and you'll get a chance to hear it. Now, those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you won't be able to see him. You could hear him, but you won't be able to see him. If you're watching us on Facebook and of course, YouTube, you'll get a chance to see him. So we'll link up with him and everything will be all right. So it's always nice to be along with you guys as usual. So we got all of that, all those formalities out of the way. So now we just get into the show and let you know what's happening. And the last time we were here, we were back an hour, and we moved up an hour. So we're now at daylight savings time. I love it because now we get longer hours of daylight. All right. Now I know, that took away like the light at 6 o'clock in the morning, because I noticed when I go out to the gym at 6 in the morning, it's gotten dark again. But it'll all change as it goes along. And that just lets me know the summer months are coming back, and we're going to be working on a lot of things in the summer. I thought about a few things that we can do in the summer. What I thought about too is that maybe some Saturdays or something during the summer, we can broadcast on location. We could do special broadcast on locations. Like I remember there was a time we used to do it from Coney Island. And we'll think about that. We'll let you know about that. And you could also let us know how you feel about that as well. But the summer's coming up. It's going to be beach weather and a lot of outdoor barbecues and all of those things that you look forward to. We got the summer months coming ahead, and I just can't wait. Just can't wait. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we're also in the midst of Women's History Month. That's where we are, right? Don't want to neglect that. Women's History Month. Now, Women's History Month, we celebrate all of the great things that women have done over the past. And I tell you, there are a lot of women who have done a lot of things. And I got to tell you, this is no longer what they used to call a man's world. It's not a man's world anymore. It's a world of a variety of people and a variety of things and a variety of situations that happen. But women have made so many great or done so many great things over the years. They've come a long way. Now, there's still a long way to go. I mean, you've got women who are working on jobs that used to be known as jobs for men, like construction work and driving buses and subways, and women are on the jobs. And it's been a long time coming, but there's still a lot of work to do. And you have women who are entrepreneurs that have their own business. They don't work for anyone but themselves. They hire people, they have their own businesses, and they're working, doing those great things and making contributions to society. Making contributions to a lot of things that they weren't able to do before. And there were the years that went by and the years prior to all of that when they couldn't vote. Remember, they couldn't vote. And so they overcame a lot of things. So we want to salute the women. I always salute my right hand, but I'm going to use both of my hands. Double salute to the women. And those of you who want to talk more about that on that subject would be glad to. It's all open, free form, and free exchange. So happy Women's History Month to each and every one. And for the entire month of Women's History Month, we're going to, talk about that, talk about all of those great things that have been coming along, and women have been making great contributions. So we really like that. So if you're just joining us, it's now 8 minutes coming up to 9 minutes past the hour. And just a few minutes from now, as I told you, Brian Camp will be here. I also want to tell you that later on in the program, we have what we call This Day in History. We have all of that information coming up on This Day in History. We have a list of things that we talk about on what happened on this particular day in history, and we go back a long way sometime with that. But that's all coming up too. And also later on in the program, before the show is over, we are going to give you those movies that you love. Now, I know that you like Turner Classic Movies, you like those old classic movies. Well, each week, I always get a list of them, my picks of the week of a lot of movies that I think that you're going to like. And just in case you want to do something on the weekend other than what you normally do, maybe one of the things that you want to do is catch up on some movies. Well, I want to help with that. So I have all of that coming along, and that's coming along right away. And you're going to witness all of that. That's great. So thank you guys for being with us. And we're going to have some fun today, and we are going to, again, open up the doors to you. So this way, if you want to get in conversation and you want to say something special, it's all open. Just type it in. I'll see it. I'll see it right there on the big screen. That's all you have to do. Just type it in and it'll be right there on the big screen. Okay. We talk about show business. I like to talk about show business too, and the people in show business. And sometimes I bring out news that normally I wouldn't like to do, but these are important people, and they made such a great contribution to the music world. And in the music world, singer Bobby Caldwell, known for his smooth, blue-eyed soul voice, died. He died after battling an illness for several years. Bobby, who had his biggest hit, What You Won't Do for Love. Remember that? That was a great little song that he did. I believe that was back in the 70s, or What You Won't Do for Love. Well, he died in his sleep on Tuesday night at his home in New Jersey, and he was 71 years old. And you know, he's been around for a while. He's been around for a while. But if you didn't know anything about Bobby Caldwell, that big hit record that he did right there was What You Won't Do for Love. That was one of the big hits that he did. So he passed away, and we're sorry to hear about that. So we want to send all of our condolences out to all of the people that knew Bobby, worked with him, all the musicians and people who used to go to his shows and just watch him perform. What a great act he was, Bobby Caldwell. And I'm glad that's the only grim information that we have. We don't like talking grim information, but this is show business. This is show business, and we figure we let you know a lot what goes on in show business out of all of that. Now, every once in a while, we get information after the fact, right? And sometimes things materialize while we're on the air. And so hopefully, if anything materializes any further, hopefully that at this particular point from here on, it'll be positive news. So we just wanted to report that out for you. Now, people are making plans for the summer. If you want to talk about that too, we'll be glad to have you along with that talking about what's happening in the summer. There's so many things happening, and there's so much to do. And again, I'm keeping my mind wide open. And I don't usually like to do things on the weekend, but when the summertime comes around, it's always a good idea to do extra things for you. And so I'm considering. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm going to see. The summer is not here yet, but I'm considering on doing some on-location broadcasting live right here, as you see it, on a Saturday, of course, you know, and providing it's a sunny day, we do something outdoors or something like that. But we'll think about that. We'll let you know more about that and see how that operates for you. We've got so many things to talk about. It's been a busy day in the news area, just like it was last week, and things go on and on and on. And I spoke to someone today, and I told them, you know, with this everything that goes on in the world, this news going on in the world, it doesn't give you enough time. Whatever you hear on the TV, on the radio, you hear grim news or whatever news, it just blows you away. And then when you think you got over it, something always came up, another item always came up, and it was always one thing after another. Now we know that a lot of us are not in the best shape, you know, because you got to remember, we went through the pandemic area. And the pandemic area kept us confined. Remember in the early days of that, it kept us confined. And a lot of people went star crazy. And I was one of them. I went star crazy. And ever since that pandemic, and on top of the pandemic, you get all of this grim news coming one after another, one after another. And I sit home in the afternoon and I watch some daytime TV. And usually the local station, my local station on ABC, when they come on, it's usually at 4 o'clock my time, and they come on, and it never fails. It never fails that when it comes on, the headlines, breaking news, a fire occurred in a building uptown in Manhattan, or someone just got stabbed, someone just got shot. Every day, it never fails. And that's one of the things that I don't like to count on, but I can always count on it. That something always happens when that news comes on at 4 o'clock. It's terrible how things happen. And that's another a topic that you may want to get into if you like. And we'll do that for you if you want. And anything that you want to talk about, we'll do it. We'll do it right here on Talk Back Live. Right now, why don't we go over to Charlotte, North Carolina right now? We link up with Brian Camp each week, and he brings us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And here he is. I don't know what your weather is. We just got cleared out today. We had some sunny skies today here in New York.
We had some sunny skies. The high was like 65, 66 degrees. Right now it's 57.
Well, we're still chill over here.
Yeah, but it was cold in the morning though. It was like 29 degrees in the morning.
Wow.
And then, but just like down here in North Carolina, it could be frost on your cars by 10, 11 o'clock. Everything is back to normal. Yeah. So, wow. But yeah, so it's been a cold, bitter day, but it just, well, for the early part of the morning, but then it did warm up and turn out to be a beautiful day.
I bet you can't wait until the summer comes back.
I'm more of a spring, fall person. I like the summer. The summer is my third favorite part of the season. Yeah.
I was just saying because I think the punchline I was looking for is, I can't wait for it to come out because I got the smoker coming out and I'm going to be doing this and doing that.
Oh no, the smoker's on all year long, all year long. So even through snowstorms, yes, it may take a little bit longer to cook, but no, the smoker goes on all year round. So no stopping. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. But good evening to you and to everybody out there that's out there listening, and hope everybody's doing well. And this is March Madness. It started already. You see what I'm talking about? It started already. We just had a game today. Princeton, who is the 15th seeded in the South, upset the second-ranked Arizona Wildcats. This hardly ever happens. This is why they call it March Madness. It's unpredictable how a team with less talent, with less coaching abilities, could come into the tournament and surprise and knock off a Goliath. This is a truly case of David and Goliath. You get a lot of these here games in the opening round. So it's starting now. You could watch some games that I could tell you right now. The game is on CBS, True TV, TBS, and TNT. These are the games, and it's going crazy. It's just the atmosphere, the adrenaline is flowing in these arenas, and it is just great to see this time of the year. So check your local listings for games that may be on your on your telecast, and just hope that you'll be able to enjoy the March Madness effect. I hope everybody fill out their basketball bracket. I did mine. I'm not going to win any money because I didn't put no money down, but it's always good to have it, just to have it and just to enjoy these upsets. And it takes one Cinderella team, or again, what I mean by Cinderella, a team that you're likely will win. It takes one Cinderella team you pick to upset a Goliath, and your bracket could be so disarray. But that's the fun part about it. So welcome to March Madness. Again, check your local listings. Major League Baseball. Former Major League Baseball and two-time World Series champion Jesus Alou has passed away, died last Friday. He was 80 years old. He was the youngest of the legendary trio of Dominican brothers who played together in the major leagues for the San Francisco Giants. And in the same outfield at the same time, his two older brothers were Felipe Alou and Matty Alou. They played on the same outfield September 15th, 1963 for the San Francisco Giants. Felipe Alou started the game. Then Matty and Jesus, the one who just passed away, had came in as reserve, but they did, all three of them play center field, right field, and left field. So that's historical. Two of them are gone. The only one that's left is the oldest brother, Felipe Alou. So our prayers go out to the Lou family. Also, former legendary New York Yankee star Joe Pepitone also had died. He died at 82 years old. Pepitone was a native of Brooklyn and played for the Yankees from 1962 to 1969. Pepitone was known for his playful and charismatic personality, but he was always an outgoing person. He loves to joke around. He was a first baseman. Him and Bobby Mercer was supposed to have been the next Mickey Mantle to ever be legendary, but he's more of a popular than a legend. He was a decent first baseman, Yankee player. So our prayers also go out to him as to his family as well too. In the NBA, Memphis star Grizzly star Ja Morant, I tell you, had a gun on Instagram. He served an 8-game suspension by the NBA when he posted an Instagram video of him holding what appeared to be a gun at a nightclub. He is now receiving and entering a counseling program, which he's finished at a Florida facility. So the 8-game suspension is also connected to the facility. So he's really only going to be serving 2 games. He should be back on Monday, pending on see what happens. Also in the NBA, Michael Jordan, this came down just a little while ago, a couple of hours ago. Michael Jordan is in talks of selling the majority stake of the ownership of the Charlotte Hornets of the NBA. Selling a majority share of the Hornets would mark the end of Michael Jordan's 13-year run as owner. He paid $275 million for a majority stake in the franchise back in 2019. So he's still going to have some part of involvement with the team because he's originally from North Carolina. He was born and raised in Brooklyn, but he grew up in the state of North Carolina. NFL, you know about Aaron Rodgers. I know you've been hearing this all over everywhere. He supposedly, let's see what happens tomorrow, Friday, supposed to sign with the Jets in a trade clause. So we're going to pay attention to that. This day in sports, March 16th, 1953, the American League rejects Bill Veeck's request to move the St. Louis Browns to Baltimore. 1964, Paul Hornung and Alice Karras reinstated in the NFL after a 1-year suspension. 1991, New Jersey Nets, Bill Fitch is the 4th coach to win 800 games. And in 2020, Major League Baseball suspends the remainder of spring training and delays of the regular season due to COVID-19. That was not too long ago. That was just a couple of years ago. Birthdays. Ozzie Newsome, NFL tight end and general manager and Hall of Famer, was born in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. In 1961, Mel Gray, NFL wide receiver and kick returner, was born in Williamsburg, Virginia. 1966, Rodney Peete, who's also married to, I believe, Holly Robinson. Yes, married to Holly Robinson, but he's an NFL former quarterback, was born in Mesa, Arizona. 1989, Blake Griffin, NBA forward, was born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And 1994, Joe Embiid, presently playing in the NBA, the center, was born in, let me try to pronounce this, is Yuhana, Cameroon. Yes, Yuhan, Cameroon. That's where he was born at. We celebrate his birthday today. Happy birthday, big guy. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
Let me see if I got this correct. Or maybe I didn't hear very well, or I misheard. Did you say Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn?
He was born in Brooklyn. Yes, he was born in Brooklyn at a very early age. His family took him out. You didn't know that? Yeah.
No idea. Well, that's why you're here.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. I didn't know that Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was He was here briefly. If I'm correct, I'm not sure. He was born, I think, somewhere like Cumberland Hospital. I'm not quite sure, but Cumberland Hospital.
Cumberland Hospital. I used
Cumberland
to
Hospital.
Cumberland Hospital.
Yeah.
That's in Fort Greene, right across from the Fort Greene projects where little Anthony used to live.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. And
that's
Michael Jordan.
okay.
He was born, but not raised in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
He was born
I
in
got
Brooklyn.
that. But the most important thing, he's a Brooklyn boy. That's the most.
He's a Brooklyn boy. Yes.
All right. Well,
yes.
I see now. Now I know. I can say that.
Yeah.
Because I always associated him with the South for some reason.
Because he played at North Carolina too.
Okay.
In college, yeah.
And you know who else was from Brooklyn? Joe Pepitone.
Joe Pepitone, right? Yeah, as I just stated, he's from Brooklyn. A lot of famous athletes are from Brooklyn. You know, yeah. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was born in New York.
See,
I don't know from Brooklyn.
That's
yeah. You know, he was New York, Brooklyn, Bronx, same family. You know,
right.
But if you want to say full-blooded, yeah, Brooklyn, yeah.
I remember meeting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar one time, a long time ago. He was a nice fellow, you know, when I met him. And I went over to shake his hand, and his hand had, you couldn't even see my hand. His whole hand covered my whole hand. That's how big he was, you know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. And Joe Pepitone from Brooklyn, you know, I met Joe Pepitone too, because I was like as a kid going to Yankee Stadium, I used to always meet the ball players. What we used to do after the game is go to the exit where the ball players would come out, because they walk from the exit to the parking lot to get their cars.
Yes.
And I got to meet Joe Pepitone, and he went to the to get his car, and then he pulled out of the parking lot, and he stopped. And I went over to him and I shook his hand. I said, "Hey, can I get an autograph?" Because I was seeking autographs. I was a kid. You know, and he says, "No, kid, I gotta go. I really gotta run." I said, "Okay," but I said, "Well, you going to Brooklyn? Would you mind dropping me off?" I was just joking with him, you know. But yeah, he was from Brooklyn, and Jesus Alou. I didn't even know that. I didn't.
Yeah.
That passed me by. I didn't know he passed away.
Oh yeah, look up. You know, you do some research. You see, they all played in the outfield together up here in the man cave. I got all three Alou brothers on my wall, and they all played in 1963. They played in the outfield together. Yeah.
How old was he?
He was 80.
He was 80.
Yeah, he was 80 years old.
Pepitone was 82.
And Pepitone was 82. Yeah.
Boy, well, they did a service. They didn't make the money that they're making today, but they did a service for baseball. They all did. And the good thing about what I like about those guys playing the sports, and even in basketball and football, they didn't make the $1 million. Those guys that were ahead of all of these guys who are playing today, they didn't make that kind of money. Now, Michael Jordan, when he first came up, he didn't make that kind of money. But then as his career went along,
his shoe, which is unbelievable, it's worth over $1 billion. But you know, Nike gets a cut of that too. You know. So yeah.
And while we're on the subject of Michael Jordan, do you know that there's a movie that's coming out? I don't know. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it has Michael Jordan is not in it, but someone is playing Michael Jordan. I can't think. It's a new movie that's coming out. I don't know if it's released.
I think I saw that. I saw the preview. I got to look more into it. I don't know. I think it's coming out on Netflix, I think, or something. Maybe into the movies, I think. You know,
I think it's to the movies, yeah. You know, and they usually release new movies on a Friday. So I don't know if it's released now or maybe, I don't know. I didn't even get a chance to see Creed yet. Can you imagine that? I didn't even see the first one, but I get a chance to see Creed.
I saw the first two. Of Creed.
Oh, I'll get a chance to catch up because the first two are on demand. So over the weekend, I'll check it out then. I'm ashamed to say that I didn't see Creed. I'm ashamed. But I'll catch up. So do we expect you back here tomorrow?
Tomorrow, you see me, yes.
Sounds good. Okay, so we'll catch you.
Okay, make sure you all check out March Madness after the show's over here, though.
Okay, we'll see you in the morning.
Take care.
Okay, it's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's here every week at this time and bringing you all of what's happening in the world of sports. And of course, as you already heard, he'll be here tomorrow doing the 2020 feature, the 20 past the hour. He will come in and do sports, and 20 to the hour, DJ Pete will be here with entertainment news, and that's 20 to the hour. So that's the 2020 feature. That's all taking place right here. And in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan, and I am going to be with you for the balance of the show. We have a little less than a half hour to go, and we're going to make sure we'll take it to the top. And those of you who would like to get involved with us in conversation, please do. We'll see you out there on the big screen. We'll acknowledge you as we always do. And if you have any questions or anything, we're live. We're here to talk to you. We're live right here. Again, I want to remind you that if you're watching us on Facebook, please, whatever's left of the show, the time that's left on the show, we have a little time left. Tag your friends, tag your selective friends of all of your friends or whoever, just tag them. They're right on your Facebook page, tag them and bring them in. And if they like what they hear, what they see, they'll be full-fledged members just like you. It doesn't cost much. As a matter of fact, it doesn't cost anything. All right. And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, again, please take the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just press that button where it says subscribe, use your mouse, right? You don't use your fingers, you use your mouse and click onto it, and that will get you right in. You don't have to pay anything. And subscribing will give you the opportunity to know when we're on the air live, or when we come on the air live, or we post anything like photos or videos, and you get notification. Free notification comes right up, and all you have to do is click onto that notification when it comes up, and it'll bring you right to the page. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much for being along with us. Keep following us and tell your family and friends about us too. Okay, we move along, and of course, this is the time. This is the time on this day in history. We promised you that. Let's get started right now with that. On this day in history in 1922, WKYAM in Oklahoma City begins transmission on radio. On this day in history, 1941, the National Gallery of Art opens in Washington, D.C. On this day in history, in 1949, the 6 Golden Globe Awards go to Johnny Belinda, Laurence Olivier, and Jane Wyman. On this day in history, in 1955, President Eisenhower upholds the use of the atomic weapons in case of a war. On this day in history, in 1957, the 9th Emmy Awards go to The Phil Silver Show, Robert Young, and Loretta Young. By the way, I don't think those two are related. On this day in history, in 1964, Lyndon B. Johnson asked Congress to pass Economic Opportunity Act as part of his war on poverty. Back in 1968, General Motors produces its 100th automobile. That's the Oldsmobile Tornado. And on this day in history, 1968, Robert F. Kennedy announces his presidential campaign. Back in 1974, the first performance at the new Grand Ole Opry House at Opryland in Nashville, Tennessee. Back in 1976, British Prime Minister Harold Wilson announces his resignation. Back in 1977, U.S. President Jimmy Carter pleads for a Palestinian homeland. And back in 1979, CBS TV airs Wings Over the World with Paul McCartney. In 2006, the United Nations General Assembly votes overwhelmingly to establish the UN Human Rights Council. In 2016, U.S. President Barack Obama nominates Merrick Garland as Supreme Court Justice. In 1916, actress Mercedes McCambridge, that's a tongue twister right there. Anyway, she appeared in all the King's Men, The Exorcist, and Giant. She was born on this day in Joliet, Illinois. She passed away 2004. Comedian Jerry Lewis was born March 16th, 1926 in Newark, New Jersey. He died August 20th, 2017 at the age of 91 years old. Rapper Flavor Flav was born on this day in 1959 in Roosevelt, New York. That's out in Long Island. And he's now 64 years old today. And speaking of 64, we go back to the year of 1964 when singer and songwriter Patty Griffin, she was born in Old Town, Maine. She's 59 years old today. Happy birthday, Patty. In 1985, on this day, actress Maureen McCormick of the Brady Bunch, Marsha, weds Michael Cummings. In 2002, Liza Minnelli weds producer David Guest in New York City. Actor Richard Dreyfuss weds Svetlana Erikin in Harrisonburg, Virginia. In 1983, producer Dick Wolf divorces Susan Scranton after almost 13 years of marriage. In 1970, singer Marianne Ganna of the Shangri-La, with Leader of the Pack, remember that big hit record, she dies of a drug overdose at the age of 22 years old. Here's another piece of history that you probably already know. It was on the internet. I saw it too today before I could even announce it here. In 1970, Motown R&B singer Tammy Terrell dies of a brain tumor at the age of 24 years old. And blues guitarist T-Bone Walker dies on this day in 1975 at the age of 64 from bronchial pneumonia. And he was born May 28th, 1910 in Linden, Texas. And TV host Arthur Godfrey died on this day in 1983 at the age of 79 years old. Arthur Godfrey was born August 31st, 1903 in New York City. In 2008, actor Ivan Dixon dies of renal failure at the age of 76 years old. And finally, 2013 R&B singer Bobby Smith of the Spinners dies from complications of influenza and pneumonia, and he was 76 years old. Now, finally, in 2016, Frank Sinatra Jr. dies at the age of 72 years old. And so that's this day in history. And those of you who know any more about what's happening on this day in history, and I didn't mention it, maybe because I didn't have the material, didn't know about it, you know, we're not all perfect, you know. So if you have any information that you want to lay out there, just type it in and I'll see it right there on the big screen and I'll relay it to everyone else. Now, I always ask people if they would like to participate in conversation. And if you don't, that's okay, because a lot of people want to sit back and watch the show and not involve themselves in conversation. And as I would always like you to do it, because I would like to acknowledge you and say hello personally, give you a personal greeting, you can sit back and relax. But here's what you can do. If you don't want to talk live and you want to get to me in some other form, I have an email address and a telephone number. You can get in touch with me and we can talk then. So let me start with the email address. The email address is frankallanprod@aol.com. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. and prod is P-R-O-D. That stands for productions. frankallanprod@aol.com. That's frankallanprod@aol.com. Or you can call me at 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-391, 641-715-3900. And the extension is 467-134. And if you want to call and leave a message, you could do that. If you need someone to get back to you, we'll oblige you on that. But if you have any comments, you want a question about the show, or maybe you have a suggestion on what we could do with the show, or what we could do to implement other material in the show, if you'd like to do that, if you'd like to hear something special. And I'm not a disc jockey. I'm not talking about music. I don't do that anymore. But I'm just saying, if you like to give some kind of advice on what you like to see in the program, Let's hear from you. All right. So let me give you that number again. First of all, the email. How about that? frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Or you can call 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. It's, of course, Talk Back Live, and I'm Frank Allen. Now, you know, a lot of you probably heard about TikTok. Those of you who are younger people, the younger set, you probably hear about TikTok. It's not official. We don't know anything just yet, but it's a possibility they may outlaw it here in the country. They may just take it out of here in the country. Now, a lot of you people who are at the age between 18 and let's say 29 years old, which is, I think, the basic age on TikTok. They're younger people out there on TikTok. I'm pretty sure there are older people out there too as well using TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I have no use for it. But there are a lot of people that go out there and show their wares, right? And it's mostly dancing. I click on the TikTok and I watch some of the people who are on there, and they're out there showing their dance moves and things like that, or doing whatever young people do to get out there, get their little fame out there, and entertain other people. But you know, they're saying that it's a possibility, unless, because this is I think they say this is like a Chinese outlet, unless China, I guess, has something to do with their share of it. I don't know, because a lot of people have concerns about TikTok, and they have those concerns about the privacy issue on TikTok. And so that's what the concern is all about. So whatever conclusion they come to, we don't know. And again, don't panic. Don't panic, because it may not be. I would like to see they not take TikTok away, because the younger people like this thing. And these younger people have a platform. They can express themselves, as they can always do here on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram as well. But TikTok seems to be the popular thing for young people. And I don't want to see anything taken from anyone. And these young people are having a good time with that. And I want to see them to continue to have a good time, because that's better than going out in the street and getting crazy, getting killed or getting hurt or something like that. But I do urge them that whenever they go on TikTok, to use it wisely, use it very carefully, because you know how social media is today. Social media is not like it was when it first came on. People are not, some people, not all people, but some people are not using it wisely. And there are many times when, you know, people who are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any other of these, all of these other places that young people go, and even older people go, you know, they tend not to use it. They keep their pages there, but they tend not to use it as regularly as they did. And I'm one of them. I'm one of them. The only time you basically see me on, let's say, Facebook is when I'm doing this show. All right. But the show doesn't always alone come on Facebook. Of course, like I said, it's on YouTube and Instagram as well. But Facebook and Instagram, they're owned by the same Meta corporation. But ever since, and you remember this, when the pandemic came around, and we had all of this thing when 345/666 Beast Incarnate was in office, there were so many things going around. You know, you had the Republicans tackling the Democrats and vice versa. And if someone said something about 345/666 Beast Incarnate, the MAGA people would retaliate, and now becomes a racial issue. And, you know, it's unfortunate. And that's one of the reasons why I don't participate in social media as much as I did, because of the drama. And I only use it for professional purposes as this. So I may post something now and then, but it will not be a post of anything that would offend anyone. I don't talk about politics. I may talk about it on the show here, and I may express my opinion on here, and you may want to, do a rebuttal on my opinion, which is always good, but it's nothing to hurt anyone. But when you go out on social media and you go out there and you're tagging, you're clawing at each other, that's not the responsible way. And I just got tired of seeing the drama. So I just come on Facebook as a minimum. And I'm not even on for 2 minutes when I come on Facebook. Now, when I do though, it's like I'm fascinated by a lot of the videos that come on Facebook and on Instagram and on YouTube. I'm fascinated by looking at some of those videos. A lot of them are entertainment. A lot of they entertain me, and it's clean entertainment. That's what I like. So I usually, if I'm going to be on Facebook or any other social media of that sort, you won't see me there. And I just sit back and observe, and I observe a lot of the great videos that I see. I just love them. I just loved a lot of them. And some of them, I would say, wow, I don't know how they would do that without getting killed, but they do it for entertainment. But I love to see a lot of the videos that some of them are comical videos, and I love to watch some of them. Now, some I may watch, like some of the news stuff. I love the news videos, like the Young Turks, the TYT. I'm pretty sure you've seen that. They have the news, and whoever's hosting, they have different hosts on that platform, TYC. One of my favorite hosts is Dr. Rashad Ritchie. And I'm going to see if I can get him on the show one day. Here's a guy that never pulls any punches. I like this guy. I like to watch him. I love to watch him. And then some of the other people like Michael Rappaport, who he's has a foul mouth, and I just listen to him. I don't always agree with what he says. Michael Rappaport is an actor as well, and he has his own show. He did a show earlier on Facebook before I came on. I watched it, and he has his own podcast. And but he rags when he can get very, very political. And I'll just sit back and I just observe it and just listen and see what he has to say. And I compare him with other people. Now, don't get me wrong. When I listen to a lot of these people, I'm not one-sided. I'll listen to the people that I don't agree with, as well as the people who I do agree with. And I just want to go back and forth and watch them, but I don't participate. I don't type anything on their wall or anything like that. I just sit back and relax. So no one knows that I'm out there, unless, of course, if you're a friend of mine, you see that little green thing or a green light next to my photo that gives you the signal that, oh, he's on there, he's on the platform. Other than that, I will not respond to anything, especially if it's political. Now, if it's something like enjoyable, I might do it. Very rare, but I might do it, And usually I talk, if I talk at all, if I type anything at all to anyone, it's usually people that I know in the business. Now, there's a lot of people I know in the business that are out there. They may post something on their website, and I may respond to it as sort. There are a lot of my radio friends out there, my actor friends, and things like that. But other than that, But anyway, that goes back to TikTok. We'll see what happens with that, and hopefully something will work out, and they will be able to keep the platform for all of the people who love it. They'll probably keep the platform going. And the Oscars, did you see the Oscars? I didn't see the Oscars. Don't ask me. Don't ask me about the Oscars. I didn't see it. All right. And I'll tell you why. There was a time when I used to watch all of these award shows. I used to watch a lot of these award shows. And the reason why I don't watch the Oscar or any of these award shows is because I basically know what's going to happen with it. And for instance, the Oscar was last Sunday, right? And of course, I didn't tune into it, but I kind of channel surfed and stopped at this and watched the show. And when I stopped, Jamie Lee Curtis is up on the stage at that particular point. And after she did her speech, and she acknowledged her mother, Janet Leigh, and her father, Tony Curtis. After that, then I just turned it off because I didn't really want to watch it. But I'm dumbfounded because I just found out later that she won the award over Angela Bassett. Now, when they do these performances and they announce the winner, they have the nominees are all in a box. You see them all in a box, waiting to see who's going to be the winner. And the winner is, and Jamie Lee Curtis was the winner, and Angela Bassett, and there was one other actress that had that didn't have the face. Now, usually they say that, oh, it's nice to clap, even if you didn't win, clap for the person. But they said that Angela Bassett, and it's not that they said it, it's a fact that Angela Bassett was snubbed twice from the Oscars, twice. And of course, Jamie Lee Curtis, who comes from a Hollywood, she's a Hollywood baby, you know that. I don't think Angela Bassett is, but she's a Hollywood baby. And it seems like, and I'm not taking anything from Jamie Lee Curtis, I think she's a fabulous actress. I loved her for years. And even her early stuff, when she did a movie like Blue Steel, and some of the horror things that she did. I think it was Halloween. Was it Halloween that she did? She did a Halloween movie, and all of those movies. I love her work, but it only seems to me, and again, the reason why I don't watch these, because it always seems to me that it becomes politicized, and even though someone may deserve it, but the person that didn't really deserve it, and I'm not saying Jamie Lee Curtis didn't deserve it, I'm only saying it usually works that way, which is why I stopped watching these shows, and they just don't mean anything to me anymore. But congratulations to Jamie, congratulations, I'm happy for you, but I hope that Angela Bassett gets more movies and star in more movies and try it again, because I want to see her get something. Twice, and I'm sorry I wasn't there to support the cause for the Oscars. I just don't believe it anymore. I don't even watch the Grammys anymore. I used to make sure that the Grammys was one of my priorities to watch when I was a disc jockey, because then I always had something to talk about, the following day. But I needn't watch these things anymore. So if you're in the mood, and if you're one who always watch these shows, maybe you can just tell me what happened. But then on the other hand, I really don't want to know. I just had it with the with these shows. I just had it. It just I just can't stomach him anymore. The Oscars. Okay, I want to make this quick. Former President Mike Pence last Saturday harshly criticized former President 345/666 Beast Incarnate for his role in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol, widening the rift between the two men. They're far apart. There's a lot of daylight between them now, as they prepare for battle over the Republican nomination in the next year's election. And the only thing I wanted to say about Mike Pence is that he was courageous enough to say, okay, no, I am not going to do the bidding of 345/666 Beast Incarnate. I want no part of that. And he did the right thing. But he's criticizing him, but why didn't he do that before? That's the thing. Why didn't he do that before? Why didn't he come out and say, okay, you know what? I've had it with this, I'm running, so I don't need to talk to you anymore. I don't want to be bothered with you anymore. Mike Pence, I thought he was gaining traction. I thought he was growing a spine and a pair, but he's not. He's not. And Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy said last Sunday that he will begin to slowly roll out access to an official tape, that tape that he presented to Tucker Carlson from the January 6th, the insurrection, to other news outlets. He's going to do that to other news outlets. Now, Carlton Tucker Carlson. I call him Carlton Tucker. I always mix him up. Tucker Carlson. He's got all of it. And what does he do? He takes 5 minutes of all of those hours, 5 minutes of it, to find something peaceful. He calls it a peaceful. It's all peaceful. All peaceful. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. One thing is not crazy, though. The movies that I have for you. We'll talk back more about that tomorrow on the coffee hour. But I do have movies for you. I have a couple of movies. I only have two this week from Turner Classic Movies. They're both classic movies. And so let's start out from 1959 with Doris Day and Rock Hudson, a musical called Pillow Talk. I think it's a little musical there. Pillow Talk. And you can catch that Friday. Catch it Friday, tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. And it's a mix of music, a little comedy involved in it, but that goes back there. And then we have the Philadelphia Story from 1940, starring Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, and James Stewart. And you can catch that on Saturday at 12 noon on Turner Classic Movies. Now, the Philadelphia Story was a spinoff. Actually, it was a spinoff, but it spun off High Society. Remember that movie with Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby, High Society? Well, that was, the original one was a Philadelphia Story. That was in black and white. It was the same kind of approach, same theme, and some of the dialogue was in what was in Philadelphia Story was in High Society. Now, I'm not a fond of remakes, but I think both of these movies were great. And the Philadelphia Story, well, you can catch that and check it out. And again, that's Saturday at 12 p.m. Now, listen, you can go to Turner Classic Movies, right? And you may find other movies that may tickle your fancy that I didn't mention here, but that doesn't mean I didn't like them. These were only my picks of the week. And you can go to Turner Classic Movies and scroll through the program guide and find others. And you may see something that you like right throughout the weekend. And right throughout the week, you might find something. And all you have to do, if you see them, you don't get a chance to watch them live, as the ones I just gave you, you can DVR them and watch them at a later time. That's a beautiful thing, too. We couldn't do that years ago. And of course, you can go to, as well as Turner Classic Movies, you can go to Movies on Demand, and you can see all of these great movies from top to bottom. They're movies from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up. And movies that you remember, or movies you haven't seen in a long time. They're right there. And of course, on demand, while you're on demand, you can see some of the newer movies, the movies that are in theaters now, and the movies of the past that are not too old. All right, right on demand, right there. If you like documentaries, they're all right there. If you like sports, you could watch some of these sports movies or sports shows. And if you don't get the chance to see them in real time, you can always go back the next day when you could be sure they're right there on demand. And of course, if you like the networks, they're all there. Lifetime movies, you might watch something on there. You might like something on there. Lifetime movies, see what's available. But please do check out these movies that I'll have for you for this weekend. Turner Classic Movies. Let me repeat them. Pillow Talk with Doris Day and Rock Hudson. That's Friday. That's tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. And of course, you have the Philadelphia Story with Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, and James Stewart. And that's on Turner Classic Movies Saturday at 12 noon. I hope you like them. I think you will. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. I am going to get out of here, but I will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the coffee hour. Brian Camp will be along with me with this 2020 feature. He'll come on 20 past the hour with sports and sports update. The latest developments in today's world of sports. DJ Pete will be here 20 to the hour with entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. That's all right here tomorrow. Other than that, I'll be back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. And Brian Kent will be here with me with sports, and I hope you will be here as well. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.